I have no idea why it's no sound. Why? Because it's April. There we go.
A new place, a new home for a while. Let me feel alive. Nothing to hold me back. Take my time, just enjoy the ride. A new man passing by. Life is good, best I've ever felt. Get me up, somewhere new, somewhere I can find myself. Oh, I feel so alive. As I reach out to the sky. I found my way. I was in the dark against it all, but made it through the day. Cause I found my way. In bad times, I know I'll be okay. Cause I found my way. Cause I found my way. Cause I found my way. Cause I found my way.
You know that I'ma keep it cool. With you I feel like breaking rules. On the edge, looking out with no parachute. You know I'm dreaming about us two, playing around without a clue. On the edge, leaning out. With us it's all or nothing. Oh, but guess I need more of you. With us it's all or nothing, but guess I need more of you. You say it during night, but in the morning you just leave. With us it's all or nothing. Oh, but guess I need more of you. With us it's all or nothing, but guess I need more of you. You say it during night, but in the morning you just leave. Think you're toxic to my mind, but I know they don't know what you're all about. The way you hold my body tight, staying up talking through the night. Yeah, I know they just don't. With us it's all or nothing. Oh, but guess I need more of you. With us it's all or nothing, but guess I need more of you. You say it during night, but in the morning you just leave. I need more of. With us it's all or nothing. Oh, but guess I need more of you. Why don't you stay? Why don't we talk about this? Why don't you stay? Why don't we talk about this? With us it's all or nothing. Ooh, but guess I need more of you. With us it's all or nothing, but guess I need more of you. You say it during night, but in the morning you just leave. With us it's all or nothing.
Hello. That music is great.
I love it. And I know that second song is about like love, it's all or nothing, but I'm like, if you take the way that, like, I mean, first off, I love you. You know I love you. But the whole idea of all or, yeah, that's us. It's all or nothing. There is
you
no
are my
in
ride or
between.
die.
Yeah, right? So
I would help you hide a body.
Right? Yeah, like it just something about it gets me. I love it. Like I'm over here, I'm like, man, I should listen to this.
I know, I was like bebopping along over here.
It's great. Hey everybody, welcome to the It's Fine, You're Fine, Everything's Fine, We're All Fine podcast. I'm Marley Bird.
Oh, I'm Lindsey Martin. Hi.
I run the Marley Bird YouTube channel, marleybird.com, and Lindsey is the head seamstress, head everything, like everything at Erin Lane Bags. Yeah. So we are here to say hey.
Well, hello.
If this is your first time here, welcome. We like to have this area. It's sort of like you get to be a fly on the wall as two friends get to sit down and actually chat about life, about audiobooks, about knitting and crochet and business and family and fun and friends. I mean, it's just life. It's just hanging out with us. So I hate to say it's a knitting and crochet podcast because that's not what it's centered around at all. We don't have a script. We just talk. Like, I know a script.
Yeah, I didn't know we have
to require planning. That's just absolutely not gonna happen. But yeah, it's literally, Lindsey, I haven't talked to you in a minute. Like
in a minute.
We have been so busy. So we have a lot to just kind of discuss today. And I think more than anything, because you and Robin both, Robin is not here today, and you're going to find out why in a minute, but you and Robin were like, do you want to show the website? And I don't want to show it today.
Okay.
But I do want to show the behind the scenes of everything I've been doing so people can get a grasp.
Because I know, I've seen it.
I even did an Instagram the other day because I was like,
in fact, my husband saw that reel and Dave goes, I think the web design might have broken Marley.
It's just so much. And the whole, yeah.
And then Jenny saw it and she's like, is Marley okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, yes. She's okay.
It's so much
for now.
It's so not much. Just so much for me. It's so much for my whole team. Like we are working balls to the wall, like trying to get everything to the best that we can get it for a release, right? We wanted to release it last week. It just didn't work. We just didn't have everything done yet. Like things just take so much time. You guys would have no idea how much time it takes to put something into a PDF format. We're going to talk about that. So my plan today was I wanted to give you I wanted to pull back the curtains behind the scenes of essentially marleybird.com. You guys get to kind of get an inside look at, what would you call me? Like as a knit and crochet designer business? I don't know.
I think this is like a behind the scenes of this is the invisible work of owning a business.
Yeah.
You know, I know there's a lot of people talking about the invisible work of women, right? Like the invisible emotional work that women do all the time. Like, I have a running, I don't, my husband does this, but it's non-gender conforming roles in my house.
Same. I just told John last night. I gave him.
I don't know when we run out of laundry detergent. That's Dave's job. I have no idea.
That's John too. I told him. I said I couldn't do what I do without your help.
Oh my God,
he is so vital to everything.
Absolutely not. Absolutely
totally
not.
You.
And
totally
so I know all of my friends normally have a running list of what do you need to pick up at the grocery store? What are you having for dinner? I don't have that in my head. My head is a running tally of I have this many of this to make. I have this many of that to make. I have to cut this many things. I have to order this many things. I have to call this vendor. I have to do that, that invisible work. And so I know that a lot of the women probably in this chat, a lot of people in this chat have that kind of running tally, the invisible work of women.
Yes.
But you don't necessarily think of that translating over to the invisible work of business.
And so I already have all of that work. And then I'm like, here, I'm gonna spend all this money to add more work to myself, even though I know it's good. I know
necessary.
In my heart of hearts, and I am so happy with the company I am working with, beyond happy. So we're gonna talk about all that. I want to what audiobooks? Oh, I read a new audiobook series I wanted to tell you about because you've been reading it. Oh
my God, I'm obsessed. And yesterday I had a really super horrible headache yesterday when I got into the office.
Oh my gosh, I did too.
I just couldn't focus enough. And I'm what I'm about to sew requires I have all my facilities firing. And I was do not sew your hand. You do not have time for that. So facts. And so I was cool. I'm just going to I'll deep dive into Lana Paherchek, right?
Oh.
I follow her on Instagram. Her Instagram is so beautifully curated. I cannot.
Now I'm going to have to go do that.
You got to go look at it. It makes me like Instagram feed goals.
I'm very impressed that you can say her name because I didn't know how to say her name.
I only know how to say, I'm saying it the way the narrator says it on the audiobook. I don't know that it's correct. I'm going to be perfectly honest.
All right.
And so like I'm on book 6 and it's only like 9 hours something long. And so I was like, well, what's book 7? And I was hoping book 7 would be the crows. I thought it would be the season of the crows, but it's the season of the elves, which is fine. I'm cool with that.
It's a good book. I like it.
But like 8 is out on Amazon. It is not an audiobook. No. And I'm like, girl, you can't do this to me.
And you know, it's funny because I mean, after watching what Penny does and then watching Chrisley Cole do what she does and J.R. Ward and seeing how much it goes into, again, it's the invisible work of putting together the audiobook. It's not just, oh, let's pay this narrator. Like there's all this other stuff. So I get it. Like I understand, but at the same time,
and the narrators on these books have been so good. Like I've gone and looked up their stuff. Like, so that's the whole thing too. And like, I realized, what's the book series? We should tell you. It's called the Fae Guardians series.
Yes. I was actually just pulling up the link to her.
Okay. It's the Fae Guardians series. And then the first 3 books, there's supposed to be 12. So the first 3 books are the season of the wolf. The second 3 books are the season of the vampire. And then the third 3 books are the season of the elves. And I'm guessing the last 3 books, the 4th season will be the crows.
And it's urban fantasy, you guys. Like it's
the way I've described it. Yeah, the way I've described it is ACOTAR, like A Court of Thorns and Roses, if you've read that, meets The Witcher.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it.
Because the Guardians are similar to Witchers. Ish.
I could see that.
That's because like that the first book really has that kind of witchery feel more so than the rest of them, but like
I actually wasn't sure if I was gonna like it after the first book. I was like, okay,
I really liked the first book. I really liked the first book.
I had to force myself through it. I got a little bit, I don't know why, I got a little bit bored, but by the second book, I was interested.
Yeah, I really liked the first book, but I really am into that whole like adventure, like that too. That I really enjoy that. So
yeah,
that was really good. But so like book 9 is apparently supposed to come out like next month, and book 8 isn't on Audible yet, and I'm like. I'm gonna have like a whole moment about that. And like I enjoy her character building. I like the world building has been done very well.
That's the one thing that I tried with book 1. I was like, I got to get through this world building because I know it's a whole new world, like it's a whole new thing, and I know that that's like one of the hardest things to get through, at least for me, in the first few books of when you're doing things like this. Yeah, absolutely. I'm putting it in the notes. Okay.
So so that was that's what I'm currently reading. And then so like I'm on book 6, then I have book 7, and then I just have to like, let's hope she can like, because I also understand from a business point of view, if it's not worth her putting out an audiobook because it's not making the money.
Oh yeah, I totally get that.
I totally understand that. Like as my little reader heart's so sad. Yes. But like I looked up the next book, I think, just to read like who it was going to be about. Yeah. And it only has like 100 reviews on Audible.
Oh.
Which is not great.
No.
So like I'm wondering if maybe she doesn't, because like I always try to leave, like even if I don't write a review, I always leave a star review.
I do too.
Because like that really helps. Because also like I don't know if you've noticed this, but like I know that I can trust you for a book recommendation, obviously. Yeah.
Right.
But I've also learned that like there's certain reviewers on Audible that like if they liked it, I'll like it. Kind of like how when you used to go to the library and they had an actual library card in the back of the book. Yeah. If you saw certain people's names in the on the card, you knew you'd like the book.
Oh my God, we are so showing our age. People who are young, they're like, card. What?
Yeah, you had to sign out the book on a card. It was a whole catalog.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a thing we did in the 90s.
Yes. All right. So I just put in the show notes and I saved it. Okay. So hopefully that will show up for everybody. I put it on the YouTube. Yeah, we're only on YouTube. it says new audiobook series, Lana
Hair check. Hair check is how the narrator on the book says it.
All right.
So I'm guessing that would be right, because like if I was the author and they were pronouncing my last name incorrectly, I would say something.
And it's the Fae Guardian series. And so I put an Audible link to her, the author's page on Audible. So hopefully that will work. I have no idea. But that's so I found this series because I mean, I don't spend a lot of time in Facebook groups, but I join various Facebook groups because and most of them that are not yarn related are book related, because I like to follow various authors or just general chats where people are like giving book recommendations, like urban fantasy and stuff. So I came across this group, the group I invited you to recently about the urban fantasy.
Like, I have gotten so many, like I screen cap so many of those because there's so many really good recommendations.
So many recommendations. The people are in there and they're very specific. They're like, I'm looking for male, female dominant, like,
I mean, like super specific.
Yeah. And people are like, here's the book for you.
And it's like 300 comments. And I'm like, I didn't even know you could be that specific.
Right.
Like, so it's basically like a wiki. It's like a wiki for romance books.
I really like it. And so there's some books that are not on Audible. So I'm like, oh, I can't listen to that one. But then there's others. I'm like, well, I'll give this. So this was one of the first ones that I'm like, all right. Because so many people were like,
it was a great recommendation.
Yeah. So that's how I
enjoyed it. I've super enjoyed it.
I never would have picked it on my own. Like I
think I probably would have picked this one on my own, but I don't know if it would have ever been recommended to me on Audible, because it is a little outside my normal reads, but like, I've been and I also think that I want to say that she's based out of Australia, because she's at a book signing in Australia. So I'm guessing because like, I can't, I mean, like, look, if you have the money to travel all over, like, girl, do it.
Right.
But so that was really great.
Another book that has been suggested that I started to read it, and it started off with a big orgy. And I was like, not feeling this right now, but it's Guild, the Plated Prisoner series.
Okay, I have heard good things and bad things about that series. I have heard that if you get to the second book, it's fantastic.
Okay, because I was like, no.
I have also, like, trigger warning, there is non-consensual situations.
Yes, I read that. In a blurb.
I also wanted all of those to be out, because I knew that it was going to be like, all of them are supposed to be super horrible cliffhangers, based on what I've seen. And the other one that I really want to try is a Fractured Fairy Tales Hooked.
Okay.
That series, I think the fourth one finally hit Audible. And it's I can't think of the name of the author, but that one keeps getting recommended to me. Like, I keep seeing that one over and over again in my groups. Like, if you like this, try this.
Yeah. I also I see a lot of this one, White Lies Beyond the Veil.
That one gets recommended to me a lot too.
Yes. The Of Flesh and Bone series. So I bought book 1. It's by Harper L. Woods, but I haven't listened to it or anything yet.
Yeah. I see Harper Woods recommended a lot.
Okay. So I haven't read any, if it's guy or girl, I haven't read any of their books yet. However, Black Dagger Brotherhood.
Okay. I think I'm like 4 books behind. How am I 4 books behind?
I am too. That's what I'm saying. Because I talked to you. I was like, okay, so book 21, which is Lassiter. If you guys, how many Black Dagger Brotherhoods? I swear we'll get to other topics, but this is our,
like, we haven't talked about books in a minute.
So Black Dagger Brotherhood, J.R. Ward. How many of you read those? Like, they're amazing. So book 21 came out, which is about Lassiter. I want to read it so badly, but then I'm like, okay, like what book did I leave off on? And I was like, oh God, I don't remember that. So I'm like, okay, it must be 18. So I started reading 18.
Apparently I just looked it up. I had to go in my Audible and look it up. Yeah. So I have read 18. I've read Sinner. I've read Sin.
But I don't remember it. I've read it. I don't remember a thing about it. Like, I started it and it was at the end.
Now I have to go look at it. Like, I remember
this book. I don't remember anything about it. So now I'm just like, okay, so if you guys have read those books, they're deep and they take you through those emotions, right? So you got to be mentally prepared. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, so I've got to listen to 18 and 19 and 20 before I can get to 21. And I'm not in the headspace for that. So I am like kind of holding on to just putting that I'm not ready to tackle that that world right now. I don't know why. Like, maybe it's because of what I'm dealing with at home, not just business wise.
Yeah.
I just don't have the capacity. I need light and lofty, right? I'm just like, I just can't.
Now I don't think I remember this at all.
I don't remember it at all.
I remember this
apparently
at all.
I listened to it. I don't remember anything about it.
And like it came out this time in 2020, like March of 2020.
That's why we don't remember it.
Probably why we don't remember. We're all just like blocking that out.
Yes. Okay. So then Cressley Cole came out with the final book in the Arcana Chronicles. Robin. Lindsey and I are going to do a full reread of those before we get to the last one. And if you have not read those, okay, I'm not even going to attempt to give the synopsis explanation of those. I'm going to let Lindsey, because she's amazing at it.
Oh my God.
You don't have to go through all of them. Give them just the premise.
Okay, so hang on. Let me respond to this comment. Somebody wants to look up the author. Okay, so so the premise of the Arcana Chronicles is that it is a post-apocalyptic. There is a global apocalypse. That's what happens. Except in this global apocalypse, certain people are gifted with the powers and or spiritual gifts, as it were, of the Arcana. If you are not familiar with that, the Arcana is what is referred to in tarot. So like the characters on a tarot card: death, life, the hangman. I'm trying to think of some other ones. I can't think. I'm not really into tarot. Like if I was reading the books, I could tell you, because like you meet them. And so and it's not necessarily all adults who are given these gifts. It's normally like older teenagers, like 19 to 25.
It's fascinating. It's not like a cult-ish or anything like that.
No, it's a fascinating concept. And I think originally, the first two books were really intended to be YA novels.
I think so too.
They really feel more YA. They're not a traditional romance novel that I expect from Cressley Cole. No. As someone who's read almost her whole catalog. Yeah. So it's a very interesting take. And you meet characters and it's a war. It is who's gonna win the Arcana.
It's like I want to say like Hunger Games. Like
it is. It's very similar to Hunger Games, but like it's all over the world. So like all of the players, all of the cards have to like get to each other to determine who's going to end up on top. The person who has won the last several Arcanas is Death, because he's Death. And so like High Priestess, Full Magician. Thank you, Julia. Thank you. And so like it's a very interesting kind of Hunger Games post-apocalypse, but like you're rooting for more than one person in multiple events. Like you want this person went over here, and like this person, you really need them to die bloody. Like I will text more than like, I need that person to die bloody, like right now. Yes. And so like there's a lot going on with that. And the main character, her name is Evie. She is the High Priestess. There's a lot of things going on with Evie, but it's a really interesting take on like a Hunger Games post-apocalyptic. I will say in the third book, I want to say it turns less YA. It's still not like I would give it like, I don't know. I
think even in the second book is when like a love scene happens, I think in the second book.
But I would say like
it's not graphic.
I would say like 3 of 5, maybe. Maybe 2.5.
That's
like 2.5. But like I realized that like my idea of a 5 might be skewed, because like when I was reading Magical Midlife Mayhem by KF Breen, which I think they're super funny. And they're listed as romance novels because KF Breen is a romance novelist. And that was great. It was hilarious to me because like I got to like the 7th or 8th book or something. Like I got to the last one and like they finally have like a mating, right? Like these two characters are in love. And like the top review on Audible was like, I get it, they're mated, but can we get back to the story? And I was like, oh, I wonder if it's going to be like really like intense. because I had just finished KF Breen's Ruin of Roses series. And I was like, I expected Ruins of Roses. Like in that first book, I was like, oh, it's going to be like, we won't get to like the spicy part until like the very end, beginning of the second book. No, like chapter 7, we're in it. And I was like, cool. Okay. Like every author has a different process. That's great.
Is that the Persephone one? That's not the Persephone.
No, this is a fractured it's a fractured Beauty and the Beast, but with dragons.
Oh, fun. Okay.
Super good.
All right.
And she's a really funny storyteller. Like there's a lot of humor in it, which I really appreciate. Like a lot of, sniping at each other and just like making fun of each other, which I love. But so I had just finished that other KF Breen series when I was reading the most recent Mayhem book, and I read that review, and I was like, we are reading very different books.
That's one thing, like in some of the reviews, they're like, I like some smut, but not a whole lot of smut. And this one was all smut. And I'm like, what was the title? Like, what is it?
Right?
But it all depends. There has to be a story.
Yes. And like that was honestly, I loved all 4 books of the Ruin of Roses series. Like when I got to the end of the 3rd book, I was like, I have 2 hours. How are we going to do all the things that have to be resolved in 2 hours? And then like I got to 30 minutes left. I'm like, there's going to be a 4th book. There's going to be a 4th book. And I was so mad because I thought it was a trilogy. It was a quadrilogy. And I was like, and I remember like storming down the stairs and my husband was like, are you okay? I'm like, there's a 4th book. And he's like, okay, download. I'm like, it's not out yet. And he was like, I'm sorry.
That's so funny.
But so like that was that's a whole thing. And so it became like, so when I got to the 4th book, I will say like, I understand why it's so important to the story that they are just like, it is spicy all the time. I get why. For the plot of the story, it is important.
For Mayhem.
No, for Ruin of Roses.
I'm like, where are we at? Okay.
Ruin of Roses, sorry. Mayhem is a closed door romance. It's closed door.
Okay. So so go back to Arcana.
So Arcana, I don't know what else to say without giving things away though.
All right. So you follow the whole story and there happens to be like, I want to say there's a love triangle.
There's a love triangle. Yes. So again, it's more YA. The first 2 books are very YA.
Yes. So this last book, you're either Team Jack or you're Team Death, and we get to find out what happens. I love Death. So
I'm very worried that my prediction, like everyone in the group agreed with my prediction when I made it. And
I have silenced the group. I have silenced the group because I'm like, I'm not going to have spoilers on this. I want to do it. So anyways, May 1st comes around. Lindsey and I are going to be rereading those. So that way we can read the last one together because, spoiler alert, the last time we tried to read a book together, I took extra time and there was a huge blow up at the end of the book and she had to wait.
I had to wait a month. I want you to know that my poor husband now knows more about that book series than he ever wanted to.
I don't know how you waited
I didn't have anybody to talk to about it.
I know. So hold on.
Jules here. I made you wait a long time for the end of Monroe, which was not nearly the bombshell of the end of the other series was.
No. Crescent City 2 is a bombshell. All right. So Jules says, try Good to the Last Death series by Robin Peterman.
I'm going to look
All right. I trust you. So I needed a palate cleanser after reading that last series because I blasted through all 7 books of the one that we were talking about, the Fae Guardians.
Yeah.
And so I went back and listened to Cletus.
I love Cletus.
And then I had to go and I had to listen to Bo, and then I had to listen to Roscoe, and now I'm on Billy because I love them so much. So
this story makes me cry so hard
because it's like the crossing, like just missed opportunity, misunderstandings, all the things. Anyways, I do want to remind everybody that you still have a chance to win all the books. We aren't picking the winner until the end of the month, so that would be Sunday. If you go to that link, I put it in the comments and stuff. That's where you can enter for a chance to win all of the copies of the Penny Reed Knitted in the City books.
And they're signed.
And they're signed copies. So we're talking about Winston Brothers, which
is a spinoff.
And it's fantastic. So I just needed a palate cleanser. So I went there.
That's a great palate cleanser. You know, You know what other book I like as a palette cleanser is Beauty and the Mustache. I love that one as a palette cleanser.
Yes, which is like an introduction to the Winstons.
Right, so, because I read Winston's first, and I remember texting you, she has an entire series about knitters.
I know, right? It's so funny.
I was so excited.
I know, right? So those are the books that we've been, you know, kind of going through and stuff. I felt like I was in a little lull there for a little bit.
Yeah, I did too. I had reread a whole bunch of things. Like I went back and reread Knitting in the City while we were working on that Kickstarter. I reread those. And then I really took a deep dive into the Green Valley verse, which is like the extended universe that she doesn't necessarily write, but other authors do, which I love. I took a deep dive into the Green Valley verse. I took a deep dive into Cipher Systems. There's a couple I haven't read, not many, but a couple. And then I reread the Saints of the Marked Men and the Saints of Denver.
Oh, that's cool. I read the 5 Crowns of Orith. Have you read those? It's the High Mountain Court. And
no,
then
you said that one was good though.
The Witch's Blade. I'm on the Rogue Crown. I actually had to like stop it because I wasn't in the headspace to go on with it yet.
Is that I'm making sure I'm looking at the right one. Mulford?
Yeah,
AK
Mulford.
Okay.
AK Mulford. Yeah, I read those. I also read, I think I told you this last time, the Curse of the Gods books by Jane Washington and Jamin Eve, which they were
I like Jamin Eve.
I do too. And they were interested enough, but it was a reverse harem. And
I'm not super into that.
I'm not, you know, to each their own. It just, for this story, I dealt with it, but I was like, all right, I'm just going to get through these. It's fine.
It's not, I mean, I don't mind it. It's just not, I don't like seek it out.
No, I don't either. So I'm so with you on that.
Yeah,
all right.
Victoria, I love the Weight Expectations. Loved Weight Expectations. Yes.
Which one is it?
So that is from the Cipher Systems world.
Yeah.
And there is, I feel like I think it's in that series where if you have read Kat and Dan's story, which is the last one, Marriage of Inconvenience. I love Kat and Dan. Security Man Dan. If you've read that series, there's a scene that you see from Kat and Dan's perspective in that book. There's a book in Weight Expectations. I'd have to look up the title. There's a book in Weight Expectations where you see it from other characters' point of views.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Epic.
I see what you're saying about. I love it.
It was super good.
I have my book here of everything that I've been like writing down because I've been taking notes about all the designs I want to do for the Stitch Night, you know? So like I have all my ideas of what I could do for each of the characters. Just like, I'm like, all right. What are some things like key things that you can play around with? So I was just playing with it. I like it. All right. So before we jump into the Marley Bird website, which has been a work in progress for the rebuild since January, I reached out to them end of December. We started talking the start of January, and we are so close to done. Tell us what's going on in Erin Lane Bags before we go to me.
April has been a doozy of a month. So just due to like, I got COVID in February and just like life in general, normally I have like a custom fabric, like theme for April. And I did not this year. I couldn't get it in time. And so I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'll do a spring cleaning sale.
How'd that go? But did you do the spring cleaning before you did the barcodes?
No. So they will all be barcode, which is great. But here's the thing I didn't realize. Let's go with the thing like out of sight, out of mind.
So what happened?
Okay. So I have drawers. You've been in my studio. I have drawers that are like cut pieces. Like these are things ready to be made into whatever, right? Barrel, bucket, useful, notions, double duty, pick a thing. So I started cleaning out drawers.
Well, I remember in the move how much stuff you had. Like I saw various things and I was like, oh, what you doing with this? You're like, you can have that. I'm like, oh, can I have one for Robin too? Yes, you can have that. So like I said it all to Robin.
Like there were some things I was prepared for. Like I knew that I overcut things for Small Business Saturday because like my eyes were bigger than my sewing time. I knew that. And then there were other things that I had just forgotten. Let's just go with I'd forgotten.
I can relate. I'm going to put a pin in that because I can absolutely relate.
Like for instance, I know you love a Knit Pack Notions. I know you love it.
I do.
I know you love one.
I do.
Would you like to know how many cuts of fabric I have for that product? Just cuts of fabric. They are cut, ready to be sewn. And when I say cuts of fabric, what I do is I cut like a length of fabric. So like a Knit Pack Notions is 7 inches wide. So I cut that fabric 7 inches wide and then I cut it into the pieces. Okay?
Like this is brilliant, you guys. If you haven't bought one of these, you need to get one of these. Like there's a magnet here. So
and the magnet slides because
it slides like I'm doing it wrong because I'm pushing on it. So the magnet's there and there. But you can slide it down to tighten it up, or you can move it up if it's too full.
Yeah.
Like it's
got a lot of space in there.
It's brilliant. Love these.
Would you like to guess how many cuts of fabric I have?
When you say cuts of fabric, like individual, like how many
packs? Not individual pieces.
Okay.
So like a 7, like that product is 7 inches wide. So I cut the fabric 7 inches, the way that lays out with the least amount of waste. And then I get like however many on the width of that fabric. Okay.
Okay.
So 7-inch cuts. How many do you think I have in that drawer?
30. More or less? More? 50? 100? 70?
47.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
And then I moved all of those out of the drawer and found actual ones that had already been cut.
Wow.
Yeah.
So are you making knit packs then? Those little, I call it the doodad notion bag because I'm
definitely, yes, I'm making those. However, I also make I don't know if you have one. I don't have it with me. It's on my desk outside. It's a little triangle bag. Do you have the little triangle bag?
Oh, that would be, is that what you had with
yes, it would have been with the international competition one.
Oh, I think it's already put away in all my bags.
That's what I figured.
Okay.
So,
do you want me to go look?
I mean, I can go grab it off my desk because I know right where mine is.
Yeah, it's probably easier for you to grab.
But so it's like a little triangle bag, and I didn't know, so I posted on Facebook and was like, would you rather see Notions or the little D4? Well, here's the thing. The D4 can be made out of a Notions if I cut the pointy part off.
Got it.
Okay. And since the fabrics that I found that were already cut.
How old are they? 2020?
Let's just say my mother ordered some of them.
Oh, shit. Wow. So vintage. Like Joel Dewberry circa 2000.
Cool. Yeah. And so I have those. And so I was like, what can I can't make those up into because they will literally never go with anything we've ever done. Right? Unless you are super, super, super OG, you're not going to, you would work for you, but you were my very first sale. You don't count. You don't count. And so it's a really tough thing. What can I make out of this fabric? Because it's already cut to this size. And I figured out that I could make a smaller D4. So it's not as big as the one that was in the box that you got. It's a smaller version. It's a Notion-y size. Got it. Great for your scissors and your stitch markers. And I found a better way to make it last longer. It's a cuter little thing. And so I'm super excited. And so I posted on Facebook because I can turn that 7 inches into Notions or I can turn it into D4s. And I am fingers crossed that it's D4s, fewer zippers, no magnets, right? Fingers crossed. Because I don't know. notions. Like the comments were like, notions, notions.
I should be your like research pupil. Like I love the notions.
And so I was like, okay. And then several people were like, well, what if we did like, can you cut it and do a mix of both? And I did the math on how many notions I would be making if I cut all of those into notions, and it would have been over 150. I don't have that kind of time, like at all. So instead of making the max number of notions, I'm making like half the number of notions and then like 1d4 for each fabric. So like fingers crossed I get that far, because I don't know. So like I've been sewing like a mad woman for 3 weeks. Okay, we have market totes, worth doings.
I saw your picture
everyday totes. Yesterday, I don't know if you guys see that bruise right there?
Yeah.
Okay. So yesterday I did something I have literally never done in my entire life. I finished 91 tote bags in 1 day.
Oh, that is huge.
Yeah, that bruise is not from like blunt trauma. That bruise is from muscle trauma from sewing.
Oh my gosh.
I woke up this morning, like I slept in a hand brace. I iced my hand when I got home. I took all the anti-inflammatories. Like I can do this now because I have taken all the anti-inflammatories, all of them. Like deep blue, turmeric, Advil, all of it. Like Western, Eastern, let's just let them meet in the middle. We'll just do it all. I don't care. I've rubbed a deep blue on it. And so like I woke up this morning and I was like, oh, it's, it hurt. But I was like, oh, I can close my hand. I feel like maybe it's a little swollen. My husband, who is blinder than a bat without his glasses on, goes, yeah, it's swollen. But like, to give you an idea of how blind my husband is without his glasses, when he goes to the doctor, when he goes to the eye doctor, they put up the screen, like, read the smallest line that you can read. He goes, well, I know the top one's an E, but it's just a big blur. That's how blind my husband without his glasses. Wow. So like for the fact that he could tell, like, and my hand is swollen. It doesn't look that swollen probably to you, but it is very swollen. And like that bruise is not from like me hitting it on something. That bruise is an internal, that is from my muscles being like, you done.
Oh my God.
It's super fine. I iced it. I'm good. I just am glad that I'm done with the totes. Everything else that I have to do is flat. Like I don't have to turn anything else out because I have I have a magical Michelle. That's what I like to call her.
Are you
magical Michelle.
More of these?
So that's a drawer that I had to ignore.
Cause like, I love a twofer.
Yes.
And then I wasn't sure about these.
You were like, I don't like the vinyl bags. I was like, okay.
No. And then I got one and I'm like, every time I go out, I'm like, where is a bag like this? Like I'm always pulling this bag out.
So I was gonna make those. I have a drawer full of those. But I don't have time.
I got it. Yeah.
So on my thing left to do is the notions. Hookamies.
Okay.
Which is normally only at Hankmas.
Right,
so
I was gonna say.
Super special to do.
But they're awesome because they hold all the big hooks.
Yes, that's what they're designed for.
Yes.
You can use them any way you want. There's no bag police, but that's what they're designed for. I don't even know where mine got to. So I have notions, I have hookamies, and I have dice bags to do, and then D4s if there's time. I don't know that there's going to be time, but it is because literally I don't have anything left. It's Saturday. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't have anything left that doesn't have a zipper on it.
I remember a time when you refused to do zippers.
Yeah, I do too. Would you believe that I received 900 yards of zipper tape and 3,000 zipper pulls last week? Because I did.
You have to do what the customer wants, right? I remember having a conversation with you and Rebecca. Rebecca was like, look, Linz.
Put a zipper on it.
And you were like, no. And then you were like, damn it.
Yeah. I mean, like I was a very reluctant zipper. But here's the thing. If you are a person who sews, there is a very different thing when you are sewing a finished zipper versus if you are sewing on zipper tape. Okay. And I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. You hand me a finished zipper. My answer is a resounding F no. Okay. Like full stop. Absolutely not. You give me zipper tape, we good. And the reason for that is I'm a person who doesn't want to iron the fabric to top stitch the zipper in. Mm-hmm. And you don't have to top stitch a zipper. It does lay better though. And so if you have a finished zipper, you have to either have a zipper that's really a lot longer than you need to be able to top stitch that second side very nicely, or you have to like, under your sewing machine. And I'm not about that life. So hand me zipper tape where like, I also don't have to juggle. I don't have to juggle like, oh, well, this item needs a 16-inch zipper and this item needs a 7-inch zipper and this item needs a 12-inch zipper and this item needs a 14-inch zipper. That is an inventory nightmare.
Right.
And so like that way I can be like, oh, this needs 10, this needs 4, this needs 7, this needs 6, this needs this. Like it doesn't matter because it's just a roll.
I didn't even know that those existed. Like I wouldn't have known what to do with something like that. So that's fantastic. That you're able to do that.
So I was like full stop. I'm like, oh, I can have, because in my head, I was like, I don't have that much in the drawers. I can have the live sale done in like 2 weeks and get a week ahead. No. Because also the other thing that I did was like, okay, look, these fabrics have like a weird amount of fabric left on them. Like these bolts, I need to reclaim these bolts. Cause like I used to just go to Home Depot and get a piece of MDF cut. And that's like 19 bolt boards, right? For fabric. When I started doing that, that cost me approximately $27 for the felt and the board and the cuts. Just the MDF now is $60.
Yeah, it's outrageous.
Like I can't afford it. And so I'm like, okay, these have been here for a while. Like, let's empty these bolts. These have been here for a while. Let's do these bolts. And I was like, it's not that much. I should not be left unsupervised with fabric.
Girl, I've been fabric shopping with you before, so
I should not be left unsupervised with like. So like with the notions, right? I said there was like 40 something, and like I want to be clear, this is not like I cut it and then just forgot it existed. This is like I cut it and I ran out of time to make it for whatever event I was going to. So like I had super twofers cut that I didn't have time to make for a live sale, one live sale and a trade show. So like those are super random. And then like, it's just stuff that I didn't have time to make up. So like, I'm emptying all of that out of the drawers so that like, I can really inventory like, hey, I have this many interiors for this. I have this many straps for that. I have ta-da, right? Like that's a really good thing to do. And I was like, well, it's spring. We'll do spring cleaning. I meant it, girl. I meant it. Like, and so Jenny is like, well, I can do project bags. I'm like, cool. And so the hard part about this live sale is that like, okay, in this thing, I have 23 fabrics. In this thing, I have 29 fabrics, but they don't repeat from these 23. So like inventory is super fun. And
that's one thing Rob and I are like, I don't mind having Marley merch. I just don't want to keep an inventory. So like, we're like, nope, no, I can't.
You're really smart. You're really smart.
And I know my limits.
And so like, when I gave Jenny the project bags, like I gave them to her as quickly as I could so that she had time to do it. Cause her April is always insane too. Like she had something every single weekend of April, like some sort of social requirement of her life every single week of April, except this past weekend.
Oh my gosh.
And so she came and helped me with the totes, which like I couldn't have done the totes without Michelle and Jenny. Like could not have happened. They would not be done. They are done. And there's like okay, I also need to just talk to you because like the invisible work of business, right? Like, okay. I have a question. Okay. I started the Lana Pear check. I started Shade Story. Okay. So I literally got to the studio. I had 42 minutes of haze, finished the 42 minutes of haze while I'm cutting ribbon. Okay. That's what it was.
That's the character of the book, everybody. That's the character in the book.
So that 42 minutes. Okay. That was at 3:00 in the afternoon.
Okay.
I left my studio at 9:20. Okay.
Okay. So 6 hours.
I listened to a book the entire time. Okay. 3:00, 1 hour. Let's assume an hour. Let's assume an hour for the ribbon. 1 hour. Okay. Yeah. So that makes it 4:00. 4:00. Mm-hmm. I left at 9. That's 5 hours.
Right.
Correct? That's 5 hours. Do we all agree that 4:00 to 9:00 is 5 hours of time?
9. Yes.
Okay. I'd only listened to 3 hours of my book. How is that a thing? Like, I literally went home and I was like, oh, I'm going to have to start book 7 tomorrow while I'm at the studio. And then like I looked at the total number of hours I had left and it said that I had 6 hours and 53 minutes left.
It's because we're living in a multiverse and somewhere else.
Like, did I dimension slide?
I'm telling you.
Like, I literally am just, and then of course Dave is like, what's wrong? And like, I'm staring at my phone, just staring at the Audible. And he's like, do you not like it? Or are you not going to finish it? Like, what's wrong? He's like, do you want to listen to your book instead of watch TV? And I was like, no, I sewed for 5 hours, but I only listened to 3 hours of my book. But like, I didn't talk to Marley. I didn't talk to Tracy. I didn't talk to Jenny. Like, nobody called me and I was listening the whole time. What?
Yeah.
I'm genuinely baffled. I'm genuinely baffled by it. And it bothered me last night. Like, I'm excited that I still have like 6+ hours left of this book. Like, I'm excited. Yeah. But like,
why am I not? I get it. I totally understand.
Like, I sewed for 5 because I was like, there's no way I did that in 3 hours. Like, there's no way I did in 3 hours. I started cutting ribbon at 3. I had an hour of that book. That's 4. I left at 9. Even if I started at 5, that's still 4 hours. I can't. To quote my friend Michelle, who comes and helps me, Magical Michelle, numbers are complicated. She has an industrial engineering degree. And whenever I do math in her presence, she's like, I'm like, math is hard. She's like, numbers are complicated.
They're very,
that makes me feel better. And so I am sewing like a crazy person to try to get all of that finished for the live sale that is this Saturday. So if you guys don't have plans, come hang out with us this Saturday. Because here's the other thing, like,
hold on, where do they go? Because I'm going to put the link in the show notes.
It'll be on our Facebook page. Like, so I'll in our private chat, I'll send you the link to the event.
Okay, that's perfect. Because then I will add that in for everybody. I was not lying when I told you guys we do not have a script. Like, I just add to the notes and everything as we go. Because I'm like,
so I just sent it in the private chat here on the streaming thing. Got it. Because I make a little bit.ly so that I can, if someone asks me for it, like, I can just send it. And so then it's also really nice to like go and see like how many people have clicked that. That also feels good sometimes.
Yeah,
like,
I used to make bit.lys all the time and then I stopped for some reason.
Okay. I love my bit.ly. It's the rapid overt stitch chrono offset effect, or Roscoe.
All right, so I am pinning this to the live. All right, to the description. All right, so it's in there.
Okay. Because like here's the other thing to add, like, because I don't know if we've met, but I don't do anything by half measures.
No, it's all or nothing.
It's all or nothing.
It's all or nothing.
All in. I am all in, right? So you know that I use that comment sold program so that I don't have to manually invoice, right?
Yes.
That is the whole purpose of that. I don't have to manually invoice. It creates wait lists. It's great. They have been bothering me to get a comment sold app for years. Mm-hmm. And I finally hit the point, like, if you've seen Deadpool, I hit F it. I don't want to say that because like that could be offensive. But like you all know what word I'm talking about.
It could be offensive. I love that it's like the F word is no longer like absolutely. That could be offending to some
right,
people.
But I also don't want you to get flagged on YouTube. So like,
oh, I get it. I already put it on here. I was like
could possibly contain language,
strong language. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know because I don't. See that
you're good. You're good.
So anyway, so I had my customers have had a lot of issues with like comments sold on the web, like on the internet, like on Chrome or Safari or whatever. Like they can't get to all their wait list items. Like I have people with 200 and 300 items on their wait list and they can't go remove them.
Right.
So that's a problem. And I'm like, why is this not a thing? And every time they're like, oh, well, it works in the app. I'm like, but I don't have an app. Right. And they're like, well, you should get an app. I'm like, I don't want an app. And they're like, you should get an app. I'm like,
I don't want an app.
I'll get the stupid app. Right?
F it.
Pretty much.
Maybe that should be the Marley merch. F it. Just a picture of a bomb with the F.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm girl.
F it.
I mean, I'm sending in artwork requests here soon. I love that thing.
I know.
I need one. And so I was like, after Hankmas and the number of issues that we had technically with Hankmas, and I was so upset about it. Like after that, I was like, you know what? Sure. I'll get an app. You can develop me an app and I will waste your time, because I was like pissed. I was like, where I'm normally like, this is irritated. I'm here. Like I'm out of spaghetti angry.
Yes.
All out, like none to be found in the state of Tennessee, out of spaghetti. And so I jumped through all the hoops. You have to get a DUNS number. Oh, you already have a DUNS number. Now you have to apply to get your DUNS number resent to you.
Right.
Like all of the meanwhile, Google's like, you want to put an app up? Sure. Okay. So I do all the things and it gets kicked back. And I'm like, why did it get kicked back? And they're like, you didn't follow the instructions. I'm like, what instructions?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, we sent you a link to the instructions. Where's that? Show me your receipts.
Yeah.
So then they're like, well, here it is. I'm like, first time I've seen this. So I get it all taken care of. And then like, I somehow missed the email. Your app is ready. And then one of my customers was like, look what I downloaded. And I was like, cool. So then knowing my luck with technology, we all know how this goes. I was like, we are not trying the app on the actual live sale. No, ma'am. 0%, 0 of 10. No. So I was like, let's try the app out. So last Saturday at 8 p.m., I was like, if you can and you want to, download the app and we will give it a shot. The app will be great for managing wait lists.
Really?
Yeah, I think that's probably the only thing it's going to be used for. I'm going to be real honest.
Got it.
Because like they tell me like comment solds, like you're going to see such an uptick in comments and solds. And I'm like, you've never been to my live sales, have you?
Right.
And they're like, well, I mean, some people get like, like 6 people on a wait list. And I was like, they're having a sale soon.
All right. So this is what they're talking about, y'all. Yes. These are great.
In fact, the last sale that they had, those are the Precision 2.
These are amazing. Like, amazing.
They're so sharp. I bought myself a pair.
Yeah. Oh, you have I had a cover on it at one point. I use them so much, I don't keep the cover on anymore.
No, I totally understand. I ordered those because they sent me these for free.
Oh, what are those?
These are nippers.
Oh, bitch. And what? Okay, I need to get the link. All right, let me get the link.
They're having a sale.
Put it in the show notes.
Yeah, they're having a sale soon where if you buy the 8.5-inch Precision tailor shears, you get this little pair of goodies for free. These are the 5s. They're all numbered. So like this is Precision 2, the big cute fat ones, and then this is the nippers or 5s. And they have a sale like every 3 months. So like that's a whole thing. So anyway, I love Guggenheim scissors. It's the only pair of scissors I use in my studio. Only pair. Pinking, shearing, nip, all of them. It's the only scissors I own.
All right, so I'm putting the scissors here.
And I was like a dyed-in-the-wool Ginger girl, and I like these better than Ginger.
Right.
And like that's a lot. That says a lot because I love my Gingers. So anyway, we got the app. We tried it out. They kept telling me like, oh, if you get the app, like it's so much faster to the app. Like they can buy so much easier. They don't have to comment. It's so much faster. It broadcasts to the app before it broadcasts to Facebook. It's so much better. And like everybody on the app was like, I have it pulled up on my computer and it's 10 times faster on my, like it's 10 to 15 seconds faster, better on my computer. And I'm like, yeah, which really bummed me out because I was hoping like at least the app would, solve lag issues that people had and like all that kind of stuff. And like, I was really hoping that would be the case. And it seems like it's not. And like some people said the app was faster. Great. Some people said it wasn't. Not so great. So like, and then some people can access their wait list. Some people can't. So like, I have a whole list of questions I got to send to my comment sold lady. She's not going to like me today. Guess how much I care.
I get it. I had an app years ago when apps were first starting getting made, somebody had an app for me for, I think it was like Yarn Thing app. That's how old it was.
Yes.
It wasn't even like Yarn Thing Potty. It was Yarn Thing app. I have forgotten about it since its inception. Cause it's been gone for a minute. So my mom updates her phone the other day. She goes, "Hey, I went to update your app and it's not working." I was like, "Oh, Mom." Like, that does not exist anymore. Like, just let it go, Mom.
Let it go, Mom. Let it go.
But after going through this whole website rebuild, restructure, everything, I'm like, yeah, an app would be cool and all. I have zero desire to do an app. I'm like, you know what? I'm making my website mobile friendly, and that's the best we're going to be able to get right now. I just cannot do an app. I cannot.
And I don't have an app for my website. This is simply for live selling. Like, that was simply what it is. Right. Like, because that's where we do. Because I will be perfectly honest. The reason why I think I do better at trade shows and in live sales is because if you are unfamiliar with my product,
yes,
someone needs to explain it to you. Like, it's not like you wouldn't look at that Notions and go, "Oh, there's a magnet in it." You'd go, "How does it close?" And so, like, that I think is really why it needs to be demonstrated. It's a demonstrable thing. So I think that's why it's better. Do I still have great website sales? Yeah, absolutely. But I think that this is a way for people to like see it and like, it kind of takes the guesswork out of it. Like, am I going to like that? What really is that size? Like, how big is it? Like, if someone holds it up next to their head, you have a way better idea. Cause like people's heads they're all different sizes, but they're not that different. Stop it, Marley Bird. Get your mind out of the gutter. Hey, remember your conversation about buying a new car?
I'm good.
I thought, girl, I thought I was going to pass out that day. I thought I was going to pass out. You had no idea. And Robin and I are like, it's terrible. And then somehow Robin and I made eye contact through the screen and it was over.
I'm going to wet myself. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Oh, God. All right. Okay.
So anyway, so we have the app, and like, what I love is every time Comment Sold tells me something, they're like, "Oh, well, if you get to this number, you'll see this increase," right? Like that's, and I mean, they have those statistics, and I'm glad they have those statistics. And they're like, you really want to get to like 100 app downloads. You need to get to like 100 app. It's going to take you like 3 to 6 months.
They don't know you know what? It's not just customer base. They don't know your friends.
Thank you.
These are our friends. They are not just customers.
Legit. Yeah. And so like, I went and looked, because like, I will say this about the app. The thing that I do really like is like, I can schedule like a push notification so that you don't miss anything.
Got it.
I like that. And like, if you're using the app, let's say you have something in your cart and it's about to expire, it will send you a notification on your phone, like you have this many minutes left, which I think is also really great. So there's a lot of things that I do really like about the app that I think will be utilized. I don't know that it's going to work on the customer facing side for them to shop that way, which is fine. I don't really care. But they were like, you need to get to like 100 downloads. You need to get to like 100 downloads. I looked on Saturday and we were at 138.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I get it.
Because they're also like, if you can get 100 people to sign up for like your messenger notifications, like I can send you like a text style notification, right? When we go live, if you can get like 100 people to sign up, 400, cool.
Yeah.
We're there. And so like, they just don't understand, like we are like in education, they talk about like standard deviation. So like, this is normal. Normal is a setting on your washing machine, but sure. So this is normal. This is like the normal range. And then you can be one standard deviation, whatever, each way. And so like I watched a live from someone who has 1.6 million followers on Facebook. 1.6 million followers. She sells, I'm not going to lie, very cute clothes. I watched her live. The chat is like, here's a comment. She talks for a few minutes. Here's a comment. She talks for a few minutes. Here's a sold comment. She talks for a few minutes. Here's another sold comment. She talks for a few minutes. Here's a comment.
That's not how yours is at all.
No. And they had like, because one time, like I had an issue, like, and one of the main issues that was happening on the app is that it would say that it was in their cart. Like they'd get a notification that was in their cart. They'd go to their cart and it wasn't there.
Oh.
And that's a massive problem. And like, we've had that problem at Hankmas. No one told me how to fix it. Still working on it. They're like, oh, well, like sometimes they're not logged in. I'm like, this is Jenny. Like, she works for me. She knows how to do this. Like, it's Marley. Like, it wasn't like someone brand new. These are people like, I can tell you which fabric they want.
Got it.
So like that kind of thing. And so like, I think what happens is it takes their system like a certain amount of time to sort through like how fast the comments came in. Because when I chatted in once, he's like, you had like 40 comments in 3 seconds. I'm like, yeah. And he was like, that's really great. And I was like, that's really normal. And so like we, like Jenny said, like we're deviants because like we don't fit which is why I want to try it. Like, I don't want to be like, go get the app. It's going to be great if it's not.
Right.
So like, I think it's going to be great for like cart notifications. I think it's going to be great for waitlist notifications, pre-authorizations. I think that's great for all of those things. Mm-hmm. If it were me, I would still probably shop on Facebook. I'm just going to be honest. Based on the feedback that I got. But so, you know, just doing it all at once. Live sale, app downloads. Oh, and hopefully on Monday, I will have somebody helping me with my social media.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so that's exciting. Cool.
I will get to that. Meg had to leave. Meg, I think I talked about this before. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't anything bad, anything like that. She wants more time. So because this was like her second job, essentially. She's like, you know, I don't really need it. I'd rather have some personal time and not have to do. I was like, I totally get it. So I'm like, you're welcome back whenever you want. Just let me know. But I'm not gonna fill that hole for a little while. So if you guys see me not posting so much on Facebook right now, it's because I'm in a lull. I'm focusing on the website stuff. But that's gonna happen. Well,
so I'm hoping that'll make things. You know, I just have to take something off my plate. So we had a great chat. I think it's going to be a really good fit. She used to do social media management for several Christian charities. Oh. So I think she's in for a little bit of a wake-up call in our industry.
Well, it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
But I'm here for it. Like, she's definitely like, she reads all the same books we read. Like, we're good. But I think I just think it's going to be like I can post. Yeah, you can post that. Like, I think it's going to be that kind of like, you're good.
I get it.
So yeah, so that's what's going on here. Just, you know, a few things.
Yeah, I've been doing track.
I know.
Lots of track.
When does that season end? That's soon, right?
1st of June. If they go to state, it's 1st of June.
When do you guys get out of school then?
May, middle of May-ish.
Oh, okay. So the season can go past this. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I didn't know like.
Okay. Yeah. So, as you guys know, redoing the website, trying to better the customer experience. That's the whole reason. Because even I didn't want to go to my website. It's just a lot.
It's hard though, too. Like,
it's hard to know what to do to satisfy Google, to satisfy the customers, to satisfy the ad thrive, to satisfy everybody, right?
Yeah. It's not just like, oh, I like the way this looks. Like, there's robots everywhere that you have to keep happy.
Yeah. And as you know, my site is 12 years old. So there's a lot of content on there. So going into this adventure, I have outgrown the wonderful person who was helping me with my website before, Kina. I went to high school with her. I love her, but I'd outgrown what she knows and can do. Yeah. So I needed something else, and I knew I wanted to add in Shopify because I did not want to do WooCommerce. I'm like, all right. So if you guys remember when we were doing 24 days of quickies and TL Yarncraft was on one day, I was like, I love this website. There was a link at the bottom that
I immediately clicked all of it and sent it to Marley. Yeah. Like, I sent it in a private chat. I was like, this is who does it. This is their website. They look legit. I think this is it. Do it.
Yeah. So I did. I reached out, filled out their questionnaire, gave my budget total, and they reached back out to me right after the first of the year. We had a great conversation. I will tell you guys, I love them. I love them. I recommend them with all the stars. Like, they are amazing.
The 2 interactions that I was there for, I'm so impressed.
They're just amazing. They listen. They aren't just like, oh, I'm here to design it the way I want it. They listen. Like, they are amazing. and they know what I need. And like, it's just been a very wonderful experience as far as them working with them, worth every single amount of money. Like it's fantastic. The stress is not because of them. So I don't want people to think that that's not it.
Right.
It's the stress because my website is so big and we took on extra tasks on our end so that we didn't have to have somebody else do it, because as we know more about, you know, what is content we want to keep, what's content we want to get rid of, what's content we want to change, what's this, what's that. So we took on a lot of that.
Well, and also like, I think this is part of the reason why like it's hard to find somebody to do social media or newsletters or whatever, because you have to have an industry knowledge, and there's just so like I'd imagine that is the same thing for like your website. You couldn't pay somebody, even if you wanted to pay somebody for it, you not necessarily can, because like they don't have the industry knowledge to know like, oh, that's super outdated and not useful anymore.
It's just so much. I'm trying to find hold on. Hold on. I'm trying to find something so I can share what we were using to go through everything. It was a spreadsheet. Like essentially it was a spreadsheet that we had. It was the year. So it would be like 2023, and then it would say December through January, and there was a checklist. So we had to go through as a team, and each of us had our own years that we would do, and we had to go through every single blog post of each of those months for all of those years, recategorize, restructure, fix broken image links because they were everywhere. From the last time I redid my website. So we had to fix all of this stuff. And then if the content was stuff that we knew that it just wasn't even valid anymore, like either the company has gone or just like maybe it was a giveaway that doesn't even matter anymore. Like it's just dead content. We called it Barney. So we would Barney it because Barney's a dinosaur. Dinosaurs are extinct. This content is extinct. So I've actually carried that over to some of the patterns where I'm like, hey, the suggested yarn has been discontinued. Then I have a little dinosaur emoji because I'm like, it's been gone. Here's the new suggested yarn. So we would Barney things. So we had Barney things and then recategorize things, which were very important because there's a new filtering system for being able to search stuff on the new website. So if you guys
that is so freaking cool, Marley. I'm so excited about that. Oh my god.
I'm very excited, and it is so much work because so we did that for every single blog post. So I'm going to do a share screen.
I was about to say you got to give them a taste.
I am. Well, I'm not going to show them. I'm not showing them the website at all. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. All right,
just know it's stunning. It's stunning. And
I don't want to show. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
sorry.
Yeah,
hold on.
Hey, it's windowception.
Oh God. That's not good at all. Hold on. I'm trying. Hold on.
I love this so much. Okay.
That was not what I want. Hold
it just got weird for a second. We're good. It happens.
Entire screen. Maybe that's what I want.
Maybe that's it.
No.
Sorry. Wait, did you just choose the wrong screen? I know you have more than one.
I have many screens. So I'm sharing. I'm just kidding. I'm going to have to share just a particular
window.
Yeah. Like Is it there?
Am I showing?
Yes.
Yeah. That's right.
Okay. So this is the back end of my WordPress. All right, guys. So if you go into the back end dashboard of my WordPress, this is what it looks like. So on all these posts, okay, I'm not going to be able to see you because I got to go over here to see.
That's fine.
Over here on all these posts, you can see all the different posts. We had 18,000 posts. So you can see how many posts we barneyed. Because what happens, we went through, barneyed everything that we didn't need, and then we had to do a massive redirect, like a bulk redirect, to get rid of those so that way Google was happy and didn't find a bunch of 404 errors, right? So now we're down to 1,456 blog posts. It's a lot. But like if I were to open this, let me just go in and show you what we have to do now. It's thinking.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's thinking. And right now I'm in the staging site. So meaning I have the live site and the staging site right now, which if I put anything on the live site, I also have to put it on the staging site. So when we click hey, it's go live, it's the same stuff going over, right?
Yeah.
So this is old content that I just had to do a live for. So I repurposed the content and I made it so that I pushed the date up to where it was public just on the 19th of last month, right?
Sure.
So I went through, changed some wording, added some keywords. It's still not like SEO perfect or everything, but I'm like, I had to get it to where we were better, right?
Yeah.
So this is what it looks like behind the scenes with all the images, all the things. I added the blanket sizes. And then also, here's a little thing, you guys might not know this. Over here, as I group content, like, so up here, that paragraph to the more, all of that just highlighted, that is all put into a group. And what that tells my advertising,
so that means that like an ad won't show up between those things.
Exactly. So we purposely will group things so that way ads don't just like show up in between instructions, right?
Right. Or so like in the middle of a sentence.
Right. Because I don't want ads all over the place. Yeah, ads pay the bills. Not gonna lie, guys, ads pay the bills. They do.
Absolutely.
But I don't want them all over. So we purposely group things. You can see I don't do small little tiny groups. I do big groups where it makes sense for the content, right?
Sure.
So anyways, I group stuff. And again, we're doing it the best we can. Some of the older content might not be grouped. It might be that we forget to group sometimes. We have to go back in and do it later. It's a full-blown thing. But as
because like you have 1,400 posts you have to go look at.
It's huge. And so we have to go through and like gumdrops, that isn't even available anymore. So if that is referenced anywhere, we have to change a link. Do you see what I mean? Because when Red Heart was purchased by Yarnspirations, every single one of my tracking links, because they track my stuff to know that I'm sending things, they didn't make those they didn't redirect those. So everything that I had a tracking code on.
Wait.
Yeah, we had to go in and individually. Yeah. We had to go in and individually change everything as we found it to the new link on Yarnspirations because all of these links all of a sudden went to 404s. And so
I'm sorry. Part stop pop.
Yeah.
Someone didn't do their job.
And they were told
Team Marley Bird.
No, they were told about it. They told the development team about it. But in the scheme of priorities of a huge website like Yarnspirations, we are so low on the totem pole. Do I like it? No. Do I understand it? Yes. It's just, do I think it's an easy thing that they could have done? Yes. But I'm not going to go there. I'm not the whole point.
I know. It was an easy thing someone could have fixed.
Right. So
the thing that makes me mad is that all those links that were tracking 404, you weren't getting credit for, not because you weren't sending people, they were because somebody didn't do their job.
Plus Google.
That's what makes me grumpy. I get why.
Yeah. Google's like, you have all these links that go to like broken links. And so it affects me. So I have to go through and make sure like this thing here, is it linked, excuse me, to the correct website, and then does it have my tracking code on it, and then link this to whatever. So anyways, you have to go through. So my point here is that this is what is involved behind the scenes of making just a blog post. This is just the blog post, right? Trying to make sure you're talking about key points that Google might be like, oh, this is something that they use this. Linking to internal links because you want to do internal links. It's just a bunch of stuff, right? It's just a bunch of stuff. But beyond that, if you look over here to the right,
I have to look on this screen because it's really small over here. Okay.
No, you're fine. So the categories, this is what we customized all the categories that we have. So this is a crochet project. It is a free project. It is a free pattern. It is one of my free patterns, even though it's on Yarnspirations, that's my pattern. I designed that pattern.
Gotcha.
It is a pattern. It is a Red Heart pattern, and it has a YouTube tutorial, right? You can see that there was the
so you have all those categories to stick it in.
Right. So we have all of that to choose. Tags, here's a side note. If you add a tag to this, which internally I think, oh, anything that I mention in there, I should just add a tag so somebody can just search it up. No, that creates a new page for Google to then search. And so then all of a sudden you have all these massive amounts of pages. So we are not doing tags. We had to do massive redirects for every tag that we had. It was huge.
I'm probably going to have to hire the people that did this for you.
Dude, I'm telling you,
to help me with tags.
All right. So down here, this is the new filtering system that you will be able to use on blogs and on the new Shopify site for
guys,
looking for patterns.
So amazing. Oh my gosh.
So this is a crochet project, but if it was knitting or if it was some other craft that we had something, or a Tunisian, we select any of those. If it's a couple, we can select a couple. You know what I mean? If it's whatever. Difficulty, is it going to open up? Difficulty, that allows us to choose if it's beginner, advanced beginner, intermediate, or experienced. Okay.
Okay. I'm going to.
Helpful resources.
I think my UPS guy's here. I'll be right back.
Okay, go ahead. Helpful resources. So anything that's in this pattern, I can select right here. So say you're somebody who only wants to see patterns that have a video tutorial. You could select video tutorial in your filtering, and it would pull up anything that has this video tutorial checked, right? Or stitch diagrams or whatever it is. Because that's a chart is for knitting, stitch diagram is for crochet. This is something that those of you who followed along with Tournament of Stitches over the years might recognize. We're bringing in the whole idea of filtering for different moods. Like, are you looking for a project where you can Netflix and chill, that you could do like Social Butterfly, where you can, go out to a bar and stitch? Or do you need something that's a little bit more concentration is necessary, which is like smooth jazz, where you're just going to listen to smooth jazz music as you're working on something? Or is it super hard where it's like, don't let anybody be around you and talk to you because you just need everything to be quiet, right? So we have these moods. And so you can filter by moods if you want to. It's just a fun thing that's really specific to Marley Bird, but it's just neat. Hook and needle sizes. One thing you'll notice here, we didn't use anything that referred to like a HIJKL, blah, blah, blah. We only used millimeters because they are more universal. So whether somebody is looking at my site from America or Japan or Australia or England, they just have to look at the millimeter size. And it works for needles and hooks, right? I don't have to specify, oh, these are only your hook sizes. These are only your needle sizes. It's a 5 millimeter hook, which if you're a crocheter, that's an H hook. That's a size 8. So imagine if it's H8, 5 millimeter, or it's just a 5 millimeter or a size 8 needle. So anyways, we just use millimeters. So you'll be able to look by whatever size. And we only chose the hook or needle size that was used in the pattern. So if you're looking for that particular size for a pattern, you can look that up. Time required. We took this idea from Stash Busting Quickies. With the idea of how much time do you have to work on something. So it's really customizable or
like, it's a great idea because, like, hey, I need to be able to make this quickly while I watch TV,
right,
with a big hook or a big needle. Like, I don't have to go search 100 different places. Like, I can do, oh, these are my filters. Bam, here's your option.
Exactly. Like, could somebody make this blanket in a series of days, less than a week? Yeah, they probably could if they were working on it full time.
Sure.
But in realistic, no, it's not going to take you days. It's going to take you maybe a week or two, or if you work it sporadically, it's going to take you a few months. So that's where we choose, you have a few options there. This used worsted weight yarn. If it's a yarn where maybe it's like a light worsted, I don't have light worsted in here, but sometimes I'll pick worsted and then I'll pick like DK, or I'll pick like a sport to kind of give you an option like, hey, you could use different sizes of yarn for this. You know what I mean? This would be considered a home decor. I did not want to have like a kids category. So to me, this is a blanket, whether it's a baby blanket or you choose to make a different size. This is a blanket, which would constitute it as home decor. I also had to make sure.
Also, like with a blanket though, like even if you made it as a baby blanket, as that child grows, it's no longer a baby blanket. It's just a blanket.
Right. Exactly. And so I added this to this particular post to kind of give the idea of, how big if you wanted to make something. And then I did give the stitch multiples and everything for it. Anyways, the other thing that we needed to do is all of our featured images are all over the place. And so they need to only be just the image of whatever we want to be. No writing, no water logo, watermark, nothing. So anything moving forward, that's what it is. It's just a featured image of nothing else with it because it looks better on the overall site. So we have to pay attention to that, which if you're pulling up old content, you have to find the old images or somehow find the new images. All of this takes time, right? So this is like hours and hours of work. And this is on a blog post that was already written. Beyond that, you have to then go down here to the bottom. You have to pick keywords you're going for. You have to change any metadata, any of this. Like there's just a lot of stuff. And this, you guys,
for those of you who do not know what metadata is, if you do not know what metadata is, when you Google something, the name that you read and the first 2 sentences, that's all metadata.
Yeah.
It has to, and it will automatically pull if you want it to, or you can go in and make it more Google searchable for it. So it comes up. So it's a lot of you can't just like blanket do it. You have to do each one individually. Just so in case you're not a web person.
Exactly. So you can see here on the back end, like if I did a quick edit, I could quick edit these things. But for the majority of everything that we did before 2021, it had to be a full edit. We had to know what was in there, if there was a broken link or whatever it was, right? So all of this has been done. So we went through all of those. And then you guys, then you go to pages. So pages are not only like the standalone pages, but if you've followed any of my alongs before, you know that you go to a blog post and it will have a link that will take you to the page where the instructions are. Well, speaking of metadata and keywords, if you don't make these to where you tell Google not to search or no index them, where you tell Google, hey, don't index these when people are doing a search, don't send them this page, all of a sudden you have this page and your blog post competing for the same keywords, right? Didn't know any of this. I've been doing this for 12 years. I didn't know any of this. So
my brain hurts.
Yeah.
And I didn't have to do any of this. You are a beast, girl.
Okay. So all of these, I had 28 pages. So you can see here, there's 21 now. I had 28 pages that I went through. I went through each one. I opened it up. I made it a no index. I fixed any images and I fixed any links and I had to move on. I did all of those in a day and a half. So I went through so much content in a day and a half. So you can see here, the blue means it's no index, right? And then there are some where they are left to index because there isn't a blog post to go with it.
Okay.
So like this one here, that's just the about page, right? That's just no big deal. That's just the about Marley Bird right here. Bead crochet necklace, spectacular, spectacular. There's not a blog post for that. So I just left that. And it doesn't even mean this. The orange means it's okay. It means that it's not SEO optimized the best it could be. But like this one right here, the beginner knit preemie hat, there's not a blog post for that. So I left that as it is. Does that make sense? So you have to make those decisions as you're going forward. And then, oh my gosh, you guys, it's just so much stuff. So this is the stuff behind the scenes that I was working on when it came to just the blog post.
And that doesn't talk about like, I know that you guys had to go back, like when you're looking at like, oh, this yarn is Barney because it's extinct, right? Like you had to go in and when you were looking at those, you wanted to make your PDFs more uniform. So then
I'm going to do that next.
So, you are going to show, because like, I remember like, I don't know, I sent you a text message or something and you said, Chrissy's here and we are burnt out. And like, I wish you could have been here. And I was like, I wish I could be there too. And then we video chatted and I've never seen Chrissy look like I'm done.
Right. Okay.
Before.
I don't know.
She was like,
it's just,
and
so
like,
much.
There's no fast way to do the PDF thing.
No.
I mean, like, I feel like I found a way to sort of help, but I don't know that it did.
Well, ultimately what you suggested will work, but it just can't work yet because there's just so much behind the scenes. So I want to show, I'm going to share. Hold on. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to move this over here. So
I'm going to get my, and I'm going to get my old people rub for my bruised hand.
Okay. I don't know if this is going to work or not. It looks like I'm not looking at you guys because I just moved you to my other computer screen. So I'm going to see if I can share my whole window over here without getting duplicate. Yeah. Okay. So now that I moved that over there, I can do that. All right. So look at this. All right. Canva. This is my Canva.
Look, I love Canva. I love Canva.
We're using it because we are taking all of the patterns I have on Ravelry. Now let's go to Ravelry. If you go to the Marley Bird designer page on Ravelry, 653 designs. I actually have more than that. They're not all listed on there.
Yeah.
But in the pattern store, there are over 250 patterns, 250 individual patterns. And you can see here, we just got to the point where we needed to get patterns out. So it's just like a picture slapped on like a Google Doc. It's like, we just got to get these out. There's no form to them or anything else, right? So before we put these in our Shopify, we wanted to make them prettier. So we're going through, we're pulling patterns as they go from the most popular to the least popular and as we can get to them, and creating whole new PDFs, right?
Yeah.
So when you called, Chrissy was in the middle of working a PDF. And at the time, she was pulling the old PDF, starting the new PDF, trying to transfer content, find images, know how to like, it's just a lot. So now we have Chrissy and Jill pulling the old PDFs, inputting the content and giving it to me where it looks like this, where there's just a name on there.
Yeah.
And then I pull it, and that's where I add the name. I do the zhuzhing, I do the links, I do all the extra. So to give you an idea, each one of these, before I get it, they're usually spending an hour or 2 on it before I get it. Then I'm spending 2 to 3 hours on it, not only just on this, but then adding it to Shopify. So let's pull one up. So let's pull the Marley socks. I'm going to just pull this up. So as I go into this, guys,
oh my God, I love it though.
I like it. So I'm trying to use consistent color work. So we have brand colors that we try and work with as much as possible. So we're trying to keep the same font, just keeping things look as similar as possible to each one. And they're the consistent thing about them, they all have this larger square, and then they all have like these little lines with whatever's written in there.
Yeah.
Okay. And they all have this particular page where there's 3 images and then text here, which, by the way, this is SEO optimized text, which is also added to Shopify. And then we transition it all through to fix the metadata. So it's like complex, right? It's more than just that one. You scroll through, not only is, so like, here's a perfect example. Suggested yarn, we changed it to the Knit Picks Hawthorne, showed a picture there, but we wanted to make sure the sample yarn was understood that it's discontinued, right?
Yeah.
Shibui Knits is just, they don't exist anymore. We wanted people to know what was used, but it doesn't exist. So we're not going to link to it, right? But it's like, hey, you want to make these socks? This is a good yarn to choose. This one here.
I love the little, I love the little swoopy arrow.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We tried to add those like whenever we could, but it was like, it's fun to kind of say, oh, what is this yarn? Oh, well, let's put a picture there. But it's links to all that, links to whatever needles that we're doing, links to stitch, like this stitch marker has a link and that tapestry needle has a link. So like, if you click those, they're linked. Just
that is
formatting all of this.
But like also, Marley, as if you are starting out, that is so helpful.
Right. That's what we think. So then, like, doing all this, you can slap this all in here, guys. But as the information changes and you need to, move things around, it's just time consuming, right? So then you get to abbreviations. Well, here's a fun note. We are currently, look at this. This here is a full list of stitch references that we are going to have on the new site. Not only the stitch type, the symbol, the abbreviation, the term, and the definition, and a link to the video, which I am now responsible for filling all of these in for knitting and for crochet. Okay. And it's color coded. And we have comment coding. Oh, Shiri did a color code. Then we have comment techniques with video content. Like, so we're trying to do our best to give people all the content they need on marleybird.com, right? But this is where I have to come in here. Like, if there was a back post single crochet, I'm going to copy this definition and I'm going to input it into the pattern here, right? Or whatever the abbreviation is, trying to make them all as standard as possible. Because this is an older pattern, right? So some of these we don't really use anymore. We don't really use PAT for pattern anymore, or NDL for needle. But I left them in there because that would literally change the whole pattern and take way more time than is really necessary. But I need people to know what they are, right? Yeah. So adding those. Going through, adding all of the video and all their links in here for everything that they could possibly need to make these socks, right? So everything here is linkable. Like, you click it and it'll take you where you need to go. Then you get to special stitches and pattern stitches. This is what I was talking about. Everything is written out completely for everybody to know what to do. Then you get to the notes. What are key things that you need to know about this? All right. So here are the notes. Here's a pretty picture just for purposes of, like there's a blank space there. They can't really
negative space there. Sometimes is not working to your advantage.
You got to just go through things. So then the pattern starts. This didn't have a chart, so I made a chart in stitch maps, so that way you could kind of get an idea of how this would work if you're a chart person for the Eye of Partridge, right? For the Eye of Partridge heel, like you get a better idea of how this is going to work up. Turn the heel, there's the gusset, there's an image, so you get a better look at that. I mean, but these are all images I had to search for, right? Because these are so old. So I had to like find my old Flickr account to pull all these up. So
oh my God, Flickr?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, girl. Yeah.
Wow.
So then I take all this and I will save it. So here's the cool thing. I could save it as a video, so I could like have it to where it would do things, but I could save it as a PDF. Then I open it up in my Adobe, and that's where I will add page numbers. And over here on this side, I add whatever the name of the pattern is, so that if a pattern is printed and gets, randomly removed from the rest of the pattern, they know what it goes to. Does that make sense? So once all of that is done.
Wait. Is there, can I just ask a logistics question? Is there a reason you're not doing that in Canva?
Because when I go to Adobe and I do it there, then I can save as a reduced size PDF. Like I have just a system that I'm going through.
I understand. I was like, Canva can do that.
No, I know it can. So that's why, it's like I have this system that I go through, and it's like a double check. Like I check everything that goes through. So once all that is done, I then go to Ravelry, and I would find it in Ravelry. I don't even know how to look for that.
I don't even know which one it was. It was socks. It was Marley socks. So I'd find it on Ravelry, and I'd replace it with the new PDF on Ravelry. Then I go to Shopify. This is the behind the scenes of Shopify, y'all. This is what I have been doing. So these are all the very familiar with this view.
Yeah. So we have been doing all of these. So let's go to the Marley socks if I can find them.
You can search in the top bar.
It's right there. We're good.
Okay.
So go into your Marley knit sock pattern. We want pattern on everything because we want to make sure people know they're getting a pattern, not a product, right? Which when you're buying from Ravelry, that you already know that. But when you're going to be at somebody's Shopify, if somebody randomly comes to my site, I want to make sure they know.
Yeah, so you don't want someone to be like, she never mailed me my socks. Yeah,
exactly. So you have your title, your description, which has to be SEO optimized because this is what Google's going to use to send people to my page. So if somebody is looking for a vanilla sock, like hopefully maybe they'll get my page. I have no idea. So you have to optimize all of this. Then you add all your images. Then you add your pricing. Then you add like digital product. Then down here, the metadata data, it's different. It's a different page title. This is what shows up in the first two blurbs when you do Google search, right? So down here, this is fun. These are meta fields that are built in. If you notice, these look a little bit familiar to the filtered system that we had on the blog post. So right here, I get to choose whether it's a beginner, advanced beginner, intermediate, or advanced. I honestly believe an advanced beginner can make these socks. You guys know me. I believe that. So gauge, we give the full gauge, and then we have different notes here for people that's like, what's something important that they should know about that? Here's the mood system. So if it's a Netflix and chill, social butterfly, I can even add 2 on here if I wanted to. So maybe it's a Netflix and chill, as well. Helpful resources. This has a chart to it, and it has video tutorials to it. I could also add if it had a schematic, if it was crochet and had a stitch diagram, if it was a make along. I mean, all those things I could add in here, all to help you filtering through and finding products. This is hook and needle size. Again, I use a 2.75, so I put that in there, but you could use whatever size you want, right? This is an accessory. It's not amigurumi. It's not clothing. It's not home. It's an accessory. And these are all of my options for what I can filter it down even more. They're top down socks, right? If it was a couple things, I could add another one there if I wanted. This has lace to it. It's worked in the round. It's one piece. If I wanted to add something else, what's something else I could do? I don't think I have anything else. There's no color work, but you can see here, these are all of my options that I took the ones that I feel like are the most used on Ravelry, and I put them over here so that I could decide, help you guys find what you want. Time required, same idea, a few days, few weeks. I don't think it would take you a few months. Yarn suggestion. So I linked to the Hawthorne, right? It's fingering weight yarn. If there was a product here that I wanted to relate it to, like maybe there was a hat that matched these socks or a sweater that matched this stitch pattern or something, I could link it in there. If there was a blog post that was related to it or any sort of other resource, I can link those in here as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So save that. Once that is all done and it's all over here, I put active, it's in needlecrafts, it's knitting, I'm Marley. Then I come up here to more actions, add digital file. And this is where I finally get to add the actual PDF in there that you guys then can go in and purchase. So by the time each
that's
one
for
of these,
one.
That's for one
pattern.
I mean, how long have I been talking? That's just me describing it. So we've been working that and making sure that all of these new patterns on Shopify, look really great. I would love to show you. I want to show you Shopify. Can I show them Shopify? I don't know if I can.
Show them whatever you want. I will say, while you're making that decision, here are some comments.
Okay.
Let me just give you a smattering because I know you're looking at your computer screen.
Okay.
Michelle McClellan, my magical Michelle. She comes and helps me twice a week.
Yes.
Marley, that is an amazingly kind thing to do for yarn crafters. I love being able to share a link to a one-stop shop. Comprehensive information is still needed. Thank you. Jenny said, my brain hurts. Stacy said, and all of this on top of actually creating the pattern to begin with.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, we haven't even talked about that. Okay.
And then Elise, honestly, this is like 2 years worth of work just converting everything. And y'all are powering through exploding brain emoji.
It's so much work.
So much work.
This is the back end. This is what you guys will see on Shopify.
Okay. Sorry.
First off,
okay, I'm sorry. I'm okay.
You won't know that you are now on Shopify. This is all an extension of the Marley Bird page. So heads up, this is the new top of the Marley Bird website. This is what it's going to look like. Like so clean, clear search, clear everything.
God.
It's so good.
Okay.
But so I don't have an image without those things on it right now. So I was like, I'm just going to leave that.
Yeah.
But you can see here where we have all the images. I tried to do them all without words, right?
Yeah.
So I could do view all. Look at here's all the where you could filter through. This is the pattern shop. You can see how everything. Look at this, guys. See where it says crochet intermediate. So you can immediately see what level do I think it's for and what is the craft. And notice it's color coordinated. So blue is knitting. There's do I have a Tunisian on here? I don't think I have it, but Tunisian I think is orange.
It is an option though.
Yeah, it is an option. So you can decide your craft that you want. And then all of these on here are the ones that I actually have in there. Obviously, on the back end, you saw there were way more options. I haven't used them all yet. That's why they're not all available on this end.
Yeah.
But you can select through all of this stuff. This is so exciting. This is so much work, but this
Marley,
is
it's so much. It's so beautiful.
It's so
beautiful.
It's so I don't know if nope, that just took you back to my own blog.
Yeah.
So it's none of this is linked up yet, but this is what it is.
So it's not live yet. This is still, guys. This is
not live.
You
cannot get in here.
It's under construction. What you're looking at is an under construction.
Yeah. I do have rewards like Floofbas. Thank you.
Was I drunk when I came up with that name? Maybe a little.
It's all right. I think I'm going to call mine Rainbow Farts. Like you call
I'm so here for that. And I will gladly help you set that up.
Okay, because I'm planning on that. So I think I'm going to call mine Rainbow Farts. You get to collect Rainbow Farts and then use them on a magical unicorn pattern because it's exciting. So that's that. But so you see, these are the colors. This is the scheme. This is what it is. So when you go to the Marley Birdhouse, guys, can you see how it kind of relates? If you haven't been lately, this is the new Marley Birdhouse front end where it's the same color pink. We have all of these, like you can sign up for the wait list for Buy Crafty Bootcamp because those are what I'm building next. And Stitch Night is what we just did with Penny Reed. We still have Camp Colorwork, Classic and Colorful Socks, crochet, then the Sock Dictionary, Prancing Through the Holidays. Side note, there's a Christmas in July huge event coming with Brianna and myself. And then because I wanted people to understand when they come to the Marley Birdhouse what is usually available, I left these up as if they were available, but obviously you can see they're no longer available. They're in the vault. But I wanted people to see, oh, she does more than just what's here. She does all these other things too. So that's where the Marley Bird house is meant to look a little bit more like, I don't even know where that was. There it is. It's supposed to look more like this as you go into stuff. But over here, this is what I've been doing, guys. This is so much work.
Can we get a magical farting unicorn ELB fabric to commemorate the new website when it's launched?
I would love that, but I don't think you have enough time to do that.
I don't know. Because here's the thing. I still don't have numbers from Penny Reed.
I don't either. I don't
have numbers yet. And so like my guess, here's my guesses. Okay.
I mean, I think we can put that on our list to come, but I don't think
yes,
we can't do it right now.
Not right now. My guess right now, is that I will be making approximate this is just pure conjecture, guys. Is that I will be making I think about 450 twofers. And I'm guessing somewhere in the ballpark of 200 to 250 buckets.
That's amazing.
That's terrifying.
Yeah, I have no idea how many stitch nights were made. Side note, I still don't even have the Madeline Tosh yarn yet. So
they still haven't sent it?
No, I don't have it yet. I have what I was sent for the box, but I don't have it yet.
Yeah.
I mean, it's coming. I'm not worried about it.
Oh, I know it's coming.
But
I just thought you had it by now.
I have, on a side note, I bought some emerald green Madeline Tosh yarn because that is what Kat loves.
Yes.
In like a really high end whatever. So I bought that to make a sample of one of the extras. Extra patterns that are in there. So I have no idea, but that's it.
Yeah. So I have no idea how many, I don't know what I'm going to be ordering. It's fine.
Right. The good news here, I don't know if you guys noticed, but there's going to be Marley Bird merch that we are going to use Printify to do. So we're putting up our stuff. You'll be able to buy stuff from Printify and have it sent to you for Marley Bird merch. Plus I'm doing special bags with Lindsey because duh. So yeah, I would love magical unicorn. Like I would love Billy Bob Joe to help me make a bird unicorn. A bird unicorn farting. Like I love all that stuff. So yeah. So when you guys are like, oh, you haven't put out, oh, I know something, like new stuff lately, we have been overloaded with all of this. I will give you a little sneak peek. So like one of the patterns, so this is the knit version. The crochet version is in my car because I wore it the other day, but it uses this yarn. But this is going to be a new free pattern. When you come to the site and you sign up for the newsletter, you get a chance to get these 2 new free patterns. It's awesome. It's so fun.
Cute.
This is Sock Yarn Obsession is what I used for the crochet one.
Yarns. Love her.
And then for I use Ridiculous for the knit version. So we have new patterns. We have Alden the Owl is ready to go. I have we have a ton of patterns ready to go. This is what I want to talk to you about. You were talking about how you're finding stuff that you don't know you had. Wait, let me share screen again. Okay, I got to move this back over here.
Yeah, I'm going to need that. I'm going to need that hat pad, Marley Bird.
Oh, you absolutely, because it's so fun. And
how I love a hat pattern.
I'm telling you, in the knit one, it looks like a ribbing, but it's a lifted knit in the rib section. So it really breaks up the color pooling that might can happen. Yeah. So it's pretty neat.
Is your support? I never remember. Is it support at Marley Bird or comment or
So we've changed. It's usually contact at marleybird.com.
Okay.
But I think we recently changed it to support. I don't know. Contact. Use contact for right now.
Okay.
I don't know. I've been so out of the loop on all that. All right, hold on. Let me share screen again. Let me share my window. All right. So I'm going to go into my PicMonkey. You guys ready? Okay. So I use PicMonkey for a lot of my video or my picture editing stuff. Like I just like it. I use it. It's great. They have.
I tried PicMonkey because you loved it, and I could not get my brain around it, so I failed. But I get why it's great.
But
it didn't work for me.
Can I just tell you guys? So like, when we talk about patterns or stuff that you have but you haven't published, so those are patterns we've published, but we have This whole, none of these have been edited, by the way. We have this whole pattern. This pattern has not been published. This pattern has not been published. This pattern, this pattern was by Crafty Games. Let's see here. We have this pattern has not been published. This pattern has not been published. This pattern has not been, like, we have so many things that we're just like, holy moly. This pattern was in a book. It'll be now, you can now get it. You can purchase it on Ravelry, but it will be also on the website. These, oh, here you go. This is the hat pattern. This is the knit hat as it comes up. That's the knit hat that you could get for free. So it's you lift the purl up and you knit the robe. It's really great. It's really awesome.
So cute.
So we have like, that's the combination of those hats. I got to go back to where I am. We have this shawl pattern, hasn't been published. We need to publish it. Ooh, gosh, so many. Like, we have all of these are just the compilation. Whenever I found patterns or images of patterns that I had, I threw them all in here, trying to help that if somebody else needed to find a pattern picture, I was like, here's everything that I have. I've never published this one. This is like one of my favorite sweaters ever. Like, it's my size and Tara's wearing it. Tara's like a size 8, you guys.
Yeah, she's teeny.
But it's like the most comfortable sweater ever. I love it. I've never published it. Like, we have got so many patterns we have not published that we're just like, holy crap. Like, what are we doing? Like, why don't we get all of this done? And it's just, there's
time.
There's so much. So this was our photo shoot where I did it with Robin, right? We haven't published this one. This is the one that we just got that finished up. We've got this one. That is Tournament of Stitches. We have this one here. What else? This Tournament of Stitches. I mean, there's just so much stuff. I have sweaters that I haven't published. Just so many things that have not gone out. Like, so these are the Tournament of Stitches shawls that we want to put out as a collection. I mean, look how pretty all of that is. Man, my photography is so pretty in these. And it looks so good. So good. And the time it takes to do it all is just outrageous.
It's outrageous. No, it really is. And that's the thing that, like, so like Michelle comes in and helps me. And Michelle is, y'all, everyone needs a Michelle. You just can't have mine. So like, she comes in, like, I'll take a picture of like stacks of interfacing, and of course, and like post it, and she'll go, "Ooh, I know what I'm doing this week." Like, she's excited to stand at the heat press. I'm telling you, she's magical. And like, it's the little things that nobody thinks of. Like, when you look at, like, when I look at your website and I download the PDF, I don't think, oh, she had to edit this photo and write the pattern and fill in this thing and do the SEO and do this thing and then export it over here and then export it over there and add these links. I'm just like, wow, this is a great PDF. In the same way that, like, when you look, like, if you walk into my booth at like DFW, if you walk in my booth at DFW, you don't go, wow, that's a lot of cutting.
Right.
You go, wow, that's a lot of things she made.
Right.
It's that invisible behind the scenes that it can just.
All right.
It's a mindful time.
There is a super editor that is going into all of my stuff. And so these items here, where it just says Ravelry store, these particular items, they were all part of Stash Busting Quickies on the Marley Bird website, right? So Stash Busting Quickies went into the vault. Doesn't mean it's away forever. It's just in the vault.
Yeah.
So what they've done, is this where it is? Nope. So this isn't one of them. I will have it on here where it'll say Marley Bird or Marley Bird's website, and they will remove it and say no longer available. So then all of a sudden it's never showing up where I need it to show up. Like, where is it? Where have did they do it to this one?
So wait. So they're just going in and editing your information. Wait, what?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Super editors can go in and change everything. So the reason we found this is because we, is this Stash Busting? Yeah. Robin was looking through, she was trying to find all of our, so side note, I don't know if I'm allowed to say, I'm the featured designer for May for We Crochet. So
I think you can say that because when,
did they say? Hopefully
well, no,
they
'cause,
did.
like when our very first one ever, when Caitlin was with us, I think she said it.
Okay. So we
I love that pattern. Okay,
I do
sorry.
too. So we're trying to put all of our stuff that we did for We Crochet. I'm going to fix this right now.
Okay.
Get it all done so we can get it up on their site too, right?
Yeah.
But this person here, she comes in and she is changing some of my stuff to where if she constitutes that it's not on Marley Bird's website, she removes it. So then when people are doing a search on the Marley Bird website for let me show you what I mean. They'll come here to Marley Bird's website.
Mm-hmm.
And they're trying to see what patterns are on here. They're like, oh, what patterns are on the Marley Bird website? All of the ones that are on my website are not all showing up here because she's removed it as a source. Does that make sense? So because there are people who look at patterns for designers differently on here, like some people will see, oh, what's on the Marley Bird website? And they'll look this way, or they'll look at what's available in her Ravelry and they'll look this way, her Ravelry store. So they'll click that and it'll just show it this way. They're like, oh, the patterns, and they'll see what's in her Ravelry store in this way, right? Or you can look, this is the way I always suggest to people. If I go all the way back here, they'll go to just the designer, so Marley Bird, and then come up here to pattern store, and then you can search this way, right?
That's how I've always done it. Right. I didn't know there were the other ways.
Right.
I didn't know.
There's all these other ways. So the problem here is that when somebody wants to go to the Marley Bird website and they aren't getting all the, anyways, my whole thing here is that there's somebody going in and they're changing
that kind of time.
The super editors, they go in and they change everything. And there's part of me, I'm like, okay, I get it. I get what you're trying to do.
Yeah, they're trying to make sure that it's accurate information. I understand that.
I understand. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, I'm in the process of, I'm doing all this at the same time, right? Yet it will be on the Marley Bird website in Shopify. It might not be there yet because the site isn't live yet. So please don't go in and change it because
can you send her a message and say like it's coming? We're building.
I don't want to bring attention to it. I'm very scared actually bringing attention to it right now. You should just try and just be all quiet about everything. I don't know.
Well, like I understand what they're doing. It's not like a malicious thing. But it's just like it just creates one more step for you later.
Oh, it really does. It's just annoying. Anyways, it's kind of weird going down memory lane here. Anyways, all right, I'm gonna stop sharing. So that's what's going on with that's not what I want. With that's what I'm doing behind the scenes, y'all. And I can't wait to show you the website and how it looks. It has rainbows because I love rainbows. And I don't know. It's a ton of work. And I really hope you guys like it. I hope you like the filtering system. I hope you like the way the images are looking. I hope you like the ad placement. So we're trying to change up our ad placement. I told AdThrive specifically, I'm like, look, I cannot have people opening up their mobile and all the ads are just covering up all the content. I'm like, you've got to stop. Please understand, guys, I'm not doing that. Like that's the ad people I work with, they're putting the ads where they think they need to go. So I'm not in there like, oh, this needs to go there so that they have to click around it and blah. I'm not that shisty. Is that a word? I'm not shady. That's the word I was looking for. Shady. I'm not that shady.
Well, and also like,
I don't want to do that.
What time would you be doing that?
Yeah, I don't want to do that. So I'm just trying to make everything nice. I'm trying to do it to where there's more high keywords so that people are doing Google searches, they can find me. I really love the amount of time that Sherry and Robin put in for the stitch information and how we're going to present that. Like, I'm very excited about that. So that can be a go-to source for you. Remember, I have to get behind the camera and actually film videos for a lot of that stuff. Like, and there will be short videos. They will be, hey, you want to do a knit two together? Here's how you do it. Like, it'll be just like that.
Yeah.
And so it'll be fun things like that. And then we'll get back to actually designing and creating because that's what I want to do. I just haven't had even a second to do it because this is so
I was supposed to design Hot Holidays or our Christmas in July Hot Holidays. I was supposed to design that fabric this week.
Well, I still have to design the Marley merch. Like, we started it a little bit, like a little thing that we want. But honestly, I just can't even think about that right now. I just can't.
No.
I got
But
too
like
many
when
other
you're
things.
doing the Marley merch, like I'm also glad to help with that. Like,
Okay.
because I've
Yeah.
done that as well. Like glad to
Yeah.
help with it.
Yeah. But there you have it. That's the behind the scenes, y'all, of what it looks like to tackle this. And we've been working on it since January.
Yeah.
The development team, they are fantastic. I think it's Basis, I think is what it is. They're amazing. They're still working on a couple things. They are now in the process of, because since now all the stitch stuff is done, they're in the process of putting that in there in the way they think is the best way to present it for both desktop and mobile. So they have their whole end cut out for them. They have been amazing. I didn't even go into the part guys were adding all the alt text for the photos. I had to ask them for help with that. I'm like, look, I'm doing all this other stuff. And I know like that's something I could do, but at the same time, I know you guys can look at a photo and see what it is and do an alt text. Like you don't have to have any concept of anything. You can do that. And I'm like, if there's any room in what the scope of the work is that we have, that's where I could use your help as I'm doing this stuff behind the scenes. And then with the Shopify stuff, like it's been so nice because they're in there behind me checking everything that I'm doing, and they're just like, "You're doing a really good job. Like your
Marley,
SEO is good."
what you're doing on Shopify is no small feat. Like I don't do that on Shopify. Like I do mine, like I upload mine with a spreadsheet.
Yeah. Do you see why I couldn't do that?
Like, yeah, no, I totally understand why you couldn't do it because each and every because look, like the description of a small project bag is the same. Yeah. You know, like for no matter what fabric it is, right? Yeah. Like I can do that. But like, I mean, there's just no point in it. There's no point in doing a CSV for you, but
it's so much work.
But like, after you told me that thing about tags, like, and you know do you want to know what's crazy? You want to know what's crazy? I was like, I don't think it's making a difference. And then like, I'm not kidding. I got an order and it was like super random and it was $0. And I was like, what is this? And I had to go into my Shopify. Like I was printing the packing slip. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what is this thing that I'm supposed to put on this? Like, it doesn't make any sense. What is this thing? It doesn't have like a description. It doesn't have a SKU. It doesn't have anything. What is this thing? So I had to go back into my Shopify and I clicked it and it's a product that's hidden.
Oh,
it's a hidden product that's like from where I did like the mugs or like the needles, like the options, all of those exist as products, but they're all hidden. So like there's millions of, customizations. And then, like you add which things you want. And that's how it creates that item for you, right? For the price. And so like, there's lots of those things that are hidden. And someone found one that was like which sheeple you put on your mug. And it was just sheeple. That's all that said. And I'm like, what am I supposed to put in the package?
Right.
And it said sheeple. And then I was like, oh my God, I have to have someone fix it.
When I found out we had close to 50,000 indexed pages, posts, whatever.
Jesus. And I probably have that many.
It was because of all the tags we've used. Because you think about it, if I had this, I could say, oh, it's a split single crochet. It's a back loop only. It's a bottom up. It's crown shaping. It's a crochet hat. It's a crochet beanie. It's a crochet with a pom-pom. It's a faux fur pom-pom. It's a removable pom-pom. I could add all those in tags thinking, oh, those are keywords that people are using. No, those are like a bunch of Post-it notes now that are there for Google to say, oh, so what's under removable pom-pom? And then anything that I have tagged as removable pom-pom has to be spelled and everything the same way will show up on that page with that removable pom-pom tag. But say I misspell it a different way, or maybe I say removable pom-pom tutorial. Well, that's a completely different tag and that's a completely different page. And it kills your site. Like you have all of these extra tags that you're not managing. Oh, and you just can't go in and delete them because you can't do that.
Well, and like here's my issue, right? So like 2018, 2019, 2020, it was just like trying to keep my nose above water. Okay. Like this is where we were at. Right. And so like for live sales, a lot of times I never even got to take photos of products. Like I made them, I sold them, I shipped them. Like there were no photos. And so like I would make like a little stock image for the live sale and that's what they saw. And that was fine. It worked great. Like everybody was super kind and accommodating because I was drowning and everyone was I'm deeply grateful from the bottom of my heart and soul that everybody bared with me through those times because wow. But if I go and look on my site, there's no photo of this product ever. It doesn't, I literally could not put a photo on that product if I tried. There was not one that exists in the world unless my customer would send it to me. There's not a product photo. But I can't delete those products out of my catalog because if it's linked anywhere, anytime in the history of the internet, it'll be a 404.
So
and I don't know how to fix that.
You have to do a bulk redirect, which I got instructions on how to do it on WordPress. I don't know how to do it on Shopify.
Yeah, I'm just, you know what? I think I'm probably going to contact the people who did yours and be like, it's not nearly as intense as this, but like, what does it cost to fix the SEO?
Yeah, they're pretty amazing. So anyways, now you guys know what's happening here and why I'm super stressed because I don't want to cry. I want to be a site that people want to go to because they want to go there, not because they have to go there. Does that make sense? Oh. I want that. I want it to be inviting. I want people to spend time there. I want people to be like, oh, what other patterns does she have? What other great content does she have? Like, so she does this huge explanation of, fisherman's rib versus brioche. Like, what else is on here? Like,
yeah, let me comment time. Becky just said, Marley, the videos of how to do each stitch will be so valuable to me. I often have to go look up a stitch and would love to have a reliable, easy to understand video to look up instead of some rando. And I cannot tell you how deeply I feel this in my body.
And I know this too. And I have been like, when I tell you Red Heart's been asking me for these since the beginning, like 8 years ago, I'm not even joking. And they're even to the point they're like, just pull out content from videos you've done. I'm like, there's the part of me, all or nothing, right? I don't want to just pull out this little bit of content. I want it specific. I know in my head what I want it to look. I want it to be easy. I want it to be like, here's a face, like maybe even right here at my desk, I have it like a split screen and I'm like, hey, you want to know how to do a knit together? Let me show you. And I just show you like with my hand cam and I'm like, let me do that one more time and do it again and be like, now you know how to do a knit two together. Boom, you're done. It's like a 2-minute video. You have it. It's done.
Yes. And like that's, and not only that, like you could probably do it. You could probably do it fast enough that you could probably put it as a reel or a TikTok. Like,
oh yeah, I definitely. So it's just, I know I want to do it like, and the video, I don't mind video, right? But I have my face. I have my face on video because I like to see people's faces as they're teaching me. I just do. Yeah. And as a female creator, we have to fix our nails. We have to look good because people comment. It just happens. It happens. Yeah. And so you talk about the struggle just to get ready and mentally prepared to be face to face on camera to do these teaching things. It's not just, oh, I can spend a couple hours doing this here. I mean, you want to spend a full day doing it all. And then you're going to spend a couple, 3-4 days editing it all and then putting it all, processing it and doing it through. It's just a ton. And I'm
then
not
like, again, on like, if you're loading it to YouTube, Facebook, whatever, you have to SEO it for YouTube. You have to SEO it for Facebook. You have to SEO it for TikTok. You have to like, it's a million different little things. Yeah. Like,
yeah. And I mean, I'm not bitching about it, guys. Please don't take that. Like,
no,
I wish I had all the time in the world to do all these things because I want to do them. I mean, more than anything, we've talked about how Marley Birdhouse and my website now, I want it to be a representation of what I want to see on the internet, not just a slap things up because I got to get things up. I really want you guys to think of Marley Bird and be able to recommend me with confidence. Does that make sense? And I want that. That's important to me. So I don't know, but that's all that. It's been a couple hours and now I have to pee. So it's that time. We have talked about a lot. And again, we didn't really talk about a whole lot of knitting and crochet, but now you guys know like behind the scenes what's happening with our world.
Invisible work, like the invisible work of business.
Right.
It's just
we have all of this. And then I have my dry erase board over here of things that are going forward, of things that we haven't even started yet. I
love you have a dry erase board. I painted chalkboard on that wall. And I have chalkboards for every single month, January through December. I have chalkboard.
I'm tempted to do that. I really am.
Girl,
I like the dry erase.
Okay, so here's the thing with the chalkboard. I will warn you. So this is the thing that they don't tell you. And I know because I was a school teacher, it's a weird niche thing to know. If you are going to get chalkboard paint, and let me tell y'all, it is not the chalk paint that you are seeing from Joanna Gaines. That's chalk paint not chalkboard paint. There's a difference. If you go get chalkboard paint, it's made by like Krylon. It's like $12 for a quart. It's pretty expensive, not going to lie. But you can paint it on any wall or anything you want. You can paint it on a board and hang it. You can paint it on a wall. You can make whatever shape you want. It's great. But before you go to write on it for the first time, you need to go get you some sidewalk chalk, and you have to cover the entire thing, every square inch with chalk, and then erase it. It is called seasoning a chalkboard. Otherwise, the first thing you write on that chalkboard will be there forever.
Oh, that makes sense.
You have to see it's think of it like a cast iron pan. You never put soap in a cast iron pan. You gotta season a cast iron. You gotta season a chalkboard.
That makes sense.
It's a weird thing. So the first time you season a chalkboard, have your vacuum ready.
All right.
It's a lot of dust.
I got it. Hi, Diane. Yeah, I could see that. Like,
so but I love it because like, if I have an idea, I just kind of like jot it like, oh, that would fit here. This goes here. Like, I do love having it. I won't lie. Yeah. Yes, teachers know chalkboard.
Yes, I love the dry erase because I feel like there's not this permanency to it, and not the chalkboard would be the same way. I like to be able, but like we have so many things. We have so many things. So bear with me through this little bit of time. We have more coming. I mean, I have so many designs in my head, you guys, that I want to get out. Not only that, I have 3 people right now working their little fingers to the bone, crocheting with fingering weight yarn, Hawthorne yarn, projects to fit me. Like there's a crop sweater, a vest, and a shawl. Very, very, very cute. All getting made right now that we're trying really hard to get them done by the end of the week so that they can be published for the designer of the month with We Crochet.
Yeah.
So we have new stuff there coming out too. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's so exciting because we have so much, and I cannot wait to open it up and share with you guys. I know I won't get every single pattern up on Shopify here at the start. I'm doing the best I can to get as many up as possible. Right now we're trying to get up all the ones that use any We Crochet or Knit Picks yarn, so that way we can get them also on the Knit Picks site. But we're doing our best, guys. Kicking butt, doing the stuff.
Just and then doing all the things.
Doing all the things. And
what
before
is
you
on
know
my
it,
glasses that will
Christmas
not get
in
off?
July is going to be here. I'm hoping I can go to. I want to go see Brianna next month and like spend a couple days at Disney and take pictures of us crocheting and knitting at Disney for the Christmas in July stuff. So we've been talking about that.
We should do something together because I do a hot holidays. You do Christmas in July. I feel like there's an opportunity here. There's
a lot. You and I have a lot of opportunities to work together. Can I just like, we make a really great team. And I think even Penny would say that. Penny is like, she's so happy she worked with us. I mean, I'm so happy I worked with her.
I'm so happy I worked with her. She was a delight. Like,
she is amazing, you guys.
She's so, look, as a person who loves a spreadsheet and an organizational system, she is like life goals.
Yeah, she's really, really, really good.
She's very, I mean, but like if you look at what her first career was, she had to be on top of it. Yep. But like, I enjoyed working with her so much. And when she was like, do you want to do the Winston Brothers one? I literally could not type yes fast enough. I was like, yes! Oh my God!
I thought it was cute because she was like, oh, when we do Winston Brothers, she goes, well, maybe I shouldn't just assume. And I was like, no, assume. No. Assume away. Assume away.
I'm going to have so many opinions about all the Winston Brothers merchandise because like, have I told you this? That Jenny, so the girl who sews for Jenny, her brother-in-law walked out of Green Valley. He's for sure Roscoe. And when I met him, I was like, and so I told Judy, I was like, when you get to Winston Brothers, it's gonna get weird. And like, he's such a nice guy. Like, Jordan is really a truly special soul. He's super sweet. Love him. And like, he just picked up the sewing machine head. 200 pounds, just picked it up, walked upstairs in flip-flops, like NBD. What? No. And so like, and he's just this little quiet guy. And like, I kept like finding myself staring at him. And then I was like, don't be a creeper. Because he's also like 27. So I'm like,
that's how old Roscoe is. He's like 26, 27.
I know. Like like the beard, the hair.
That's awesome.
It was like he walked off the pages and I was like, hi, Winston's.
I love it. I love it. So, I told you guys I would tell you where Robin was. So Robin is literally working on those PDFs. She was like, oh, we got the podcast today. I said, no, I'll do the podcast. I said, I can run a podcast. I've done it before. I said, you keep doing what you're doing. Stick with, I bet she's watching us in the background. I mean, I just,
of course she is.
And so, hey, Robin, but she's working on the PDFs right now for the stuff for We Crochet. There's just so much to do.
Yeah.
I'm like, you go focus on that. I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'm going to finish up the City Tweed cowl that I have here, cause I'm updating it to have different sizes. And then, I got to go to track. So that's my afternoon. Don't know when the next show will be. I know you do, don't you?
We only have through May scheduled. So that's the last one we have scheduled. May is the 23rd. So if you guys want to add that to your calendars, we will be live pending no other issues. Right. May 23rd. I believe that is I believe that's a Tuesday.
Okay. Awesome. All right, everybody. Well, that's it from us. Thank you so much for joining us today. I feel like we should have like exit music. I mean, can I just do exit music? Can I just play it to have exit music?
Do whatever you want. You're the boss.
I don't know. I feel like I should make a new video for the exit music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because,
on top, since you have so much free time, you just sit around eating bonbons.
So much free time. Can I do this one? I don't know. Oh, that's not what I want. That's not what I want. I don't know what I want. Let's see here. Can I just
technology?
Love it. Love this music. It's so good. Bye, everybody. I hope you have a great day.
A new home for a while. Let me feel alive.